Good morning and welcome, dear students of Patanjali Rishikul. Today we are going to study about an ancient Greek mythology, and the name of the chapter is Pandora and the Mysterious Box. Here comes the story. Long, long ago, there was an orphan child named Epimetheus. He had a playmate, a girl named Pandora. In those days, children did not need people to look after them all the time because there was no danger. Food grew on trees and children used to play all the time. One day it so happened that Pandora entered Epimetheus's cottage and she saw a wonderful box kept over there. She asked Epimetheus about the box, to which he replied that it was left over there by a stranger with the instruction not to open it. Pandora remained curious about the box. One day she entered the cottage and found that Epimetheus was not there. She became curious and went near the box, and she saw that it was a beautiful piece of artwork made of dark wood, highly polished, and in the center of the box, a beautiful face was carved on it. And there were very lively features which had mischievous expression, which were there on the lid of the box. Pandora decided to open the box as she noticed that it was not locked but was only secured by a fine knot of gold cord. First, she tried to lift the box, but it was too heavy, so she could not do that. As she tried to lift the box, she heard a kind of hushed murmur from within the box that made her more curious to open it. And she decided to open the box. She thought, what would Epimetheus say regarding this? But she brushed aside all the thoughts and just went near the box to open the knot and decided to just have a look inside the box. As she was about to open the knot, the cottage grew very dark as a black cloud swept over and covered the sun. And there was all the loud noises of thunder. Pandora ignored everything and just lifted the lid. As soon as she did that, a sudden swarm of winged creatures burst out of the box and spread all over the dark room. In the meantime, Epimetheus had also entered the cottage, and those creatures stung Epimetheus, and he started crying out in pain. Pandora left the lid fall and stood there in a state of shock to see what happened to Epimetheus. She could hear a numerous huge flies buzzing of their wings, giant mosquitoes were darting about, and she could see a crowd of ugly little shapes with bats' wings, and they were looking very spiteful. Those hideous little shapes were the whole family of earthly troubles. And they were diseases, there were more than 150 sorrows in a vast number of miserable and painful shapes. There were more kinds of wickedness that one could talk about. In short, everything that has ever troubled our minds and bodies had been shut up in that mysterious box, which Pandora opened and let them come out. After that, they never left us. Now, two children started screaming in fear and pain because they were stung by those creatures. They opened the windows. But those troubles actually flew out of the windows and started tormenting people everywhere. They remained in the cottage crying because they were dangerously stung by those creatures and were in terrible pain. In the meantime, they heard another voice which was coming from the box, and that was a gentle tapping of the box. The voice was very sweet, and it asked them to open the box to let it come out of the box. Since they were too much afraid with their previous experience, they decided not to open it. But that sweet little voice consistently insisted to open the lid of the box so that it could come out. And then finally, both of these children, they opened the lid once again, and there came the hope. And she kissed Pandora on the forehead, and her pain was all gone. She kissed Epimetheus also, and he was all well once again. And then she introduced herself as Hope. Then from now on, Hope never left people. Thank you, children, and have a nice day. That's all for today.